David Strathairn has been an in-demand actor for decades, from his early films with John Sayles through his Oscar-nominated performance as the legendary journalist Edward R. Murrow in the 2005 film Good Night and Good Luck. Other notable films include Lincoln, directed by Steven Spielberg, and the Oscar-winning Nomadland. And now he's appearing at Chicago Shakespeare Theatre in a one-man performance called Remember This, the Lesson of Yahn Karski. And David Strathairn joins us now from Navy Pier. David Strathairn, what a pleasure it is to have you. Thanks for being here with Chicago Tonight.
Thanks so much for doing this for the further production. So
all right,
really an honor.
So tell us about the real-life character, Yahn Karski, that you play, and the thrust of the story that you're getting at.
Well, where to begin? I guess, we'll start with what the play centers around. It is somewhat of a chronological journey through his life, but it focuses primarily on his time as a courier for the Polish underground, carrying messages from the front to the government in exile in France, and then ultimately to his coming to the West to report on the atrocities of the Holocaust to Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Justice Felix Frankfurter, among others, Foreign Secretary Anthony Eden in England. And then it touches on his career as a teacher at Georgetown University from 1952 to 1992. It's kind of a large scope to cover, but I feel that we're pretty much doing justice to the high points of his life and indeed to the incredible legacy that he leaves in terms of bearing witness.
It's an amazing life and an amazing story, and it was almost like he was screaming into the void, because he told FDR about what was happening. He told other leaders, and they didn't take any action. And as I understand, he blamed himself for that. Why was that?
Well, I don't know if he blamed himself, but he did feel a sense of failure, having it made it to the offices of the most powerful people in the world at the time, with a message that he felt was crucial to, at least stop the annihilation of the Jewish people while there was still time to stop it. So he did carry, I believe, a sense of failure. Obviously, he didn't fail. It was the failure of others to act upon the information.
Certainly, and there were political reasons at the time that FDR didn't act immediately. And the title is Remember This, the Lesson of Yahn Karski. So what is the lesson in the play?
You can take a lot of lessons from his life. I think, to put it kind of simplistically, the lesson is to remember. If we don't remember our past, we are condemned to repeat it, potentially. And that by doing an excavation of who we are, by exploring where we came from, hopefully we can learn things going forward for the betterment of our world.
And in fact, you not only do a 90-minute one-man show, but you do a question and answer session at the end with the audience. So what are those sessions like?
Well, we've had about a week and a half of them at the Washington, D.C. Chicago Shakespeare Theatre. And they were very moving, very insightful, and very engaged, because Washington, D.C. was his hometown for pretty much half of his life. And his students were there, people who knew him. We were kind of, home field advantage there, really. But I understand there's a large Polish community here in Chicago, obviously, who will be excited to see if people who knew him or know of him show up. And so we're offering an opportunity to discuss, share, and experience together.
Indeed, a large Polish community here, long called the largest Polish city outside of Warsaw here in Chicago. You're doing this through November 14th. I'm just curious, the stamina, mentally and physically, that it takes to do this one-man performance, because it's not like you're just sitting around reading a story. You're very physical in this, so how difficult is that?
Well, it's difficult, yeah, but you train to do it, and it's an hour and a half of fairly intense presentation. But it's also in respect of Karsky himself, because as a teacher he was very animated, very demonstrative. People wanted to have his class because of his performative skills and just his general energy and telling of anecdotes. And it's sort of in sync with who he was as a professor.
And there certainly is a lot of relevance to the message in this play to the times that we're living in now. I want to go back to Good Night and Good Luck in your performance as Edward R. Murrow. Obviously, that was relevant then, talking about Joe McCarthy and McCarthyism and news. Do you reflect on that movie now, given the current climate of misinformation and distrust in journalism?
Every day, every day. I have a notion to contact George Clooney and Grant Heslov, whoever has the film, and say that film should be revisited. And it dovetails a lot with what Karsky represents: misinformation, bearing witness, telling the truth, being an eyewitness, and having the information dismissed and denied and ignored. So both of those, Edward R. Murrow and Yahn Karski, I believe, are cut from very much the same cloth.
Certainly be very exciting if you did revisit Good Night and Good Luck for these current times. I don't know where to say. You've made so many wonderful films, so many big films, indie films, Oscar-nominated Nomadland. It just kind of swept the country by storm last year. Were you surprised at the reception that movie got?
Somewhat, yeah. After thinking about it, I think it was a question of, extraordinarily good timing, because people were being, COVID was displacing people. There was a huge diaspora of people who were through foreclosures and economic impoverishment and a lot of critical issues that were affecting the world, but people were isolated from each other while we were making that film, and then it went on to this day. And I feel Nomadland kind of struck a nerve about people who are wandering, looking for some kind of community again, looking for a place to put down roots, whether it's wheels on the road or finding a community again. So it's not surprising after thinking about it that film really struck a real nerve.
Certainly relevant for the time that we're living in as well. And through all the films I could go over, I would just want to bring up some of the Chicago connections, 8 Men Out and League of Their Own. Any particular memories of working here in our fair city?
Always a great time. I haven't worked here enough, but 8 Men Out was certainly a blast. It's really great. And I made a small movie called Ball in the House years ago in the suburbs outside of Chicago. But I've always wanted to work in Chicago because it's one of the great American cities for sure. It holds a lot of history, and it's kind of a pillar of the culture.
And you're at a great theater there, Chicago Shakespeare Theatre, and again, the show is...
It's such a beautiful new theater here. It's extraordinary. We're really blessed and grateful to Chicago Shakes for bringing the play here.
Absolutely. In the show, remember this, The Lesson of Yahn Karski is playing till November 14th there at Chicago Shakespeare Theatre at Navy Pier. And David Strathairn, thank you so much again for joining us.
You're very welcome. Thank you for doing this, Paris, and all the best.
Of course. Thank you, too.